Hello, ladies and gents. Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. I figure I would talk about a show that I probably wouldn't normally discuss. That I just binge watched the first 2 seasons this past week, and I enjoyed it immensely. It's a Hulu show, but it's Marvel. It's superhero Marvel based, and so Disney, ABC, Runaways. Runaways, the premise of Runaways, spoiler alert, all full spoilers. If you don't want to hear me talk about this, the first 2 seasons in a very quick synopsis, stop this video right now. For the rest of you, The Runaways is a Hulu show where essentially we have this group of teenagers who had a falling out due to one person in their group. Her name is Amy. She died, and we thought it was because of suicide. That's what we thought. We find out very differently. We find out she was actually killed. We find out not only was she killed by someone that was close to, not directly close to her parents, but they knew each other, and it was really messed up. And so the group disbanded, but then the first episode they came back together because, regular life, it just wasn't clicking for them how it should. We have Gert, who's essentially a vegan, a vegan Shiro. She probably wouldn't be friends with Lena Dunham because she'd probably find issues with some of Lena Dunham's feminist ways is problematic. I mean, Gert is to the extreme, or at least she thought she was. And she actually has an adopted sister. That's what we'll call it. An adopted sister. Her name is Molly. Molly's parents were killed. And what we thought was an accident, but we eventually find out she was killed by Carolina's mom, because of Carolina's dad ordered the hit on them because they exposed what I'll talk about a little bit later. We also find out that Molly has abilities because she was in the explosion. They were testing these rocks. Right before the explosion happened, there was these rocks all around that had supernatural properties, and Molly was holding one of the rocks or around the rocks when the lab that she was in with her parents exploded. That's why she lived. There's actually another guy who was in the area. He was a part of the janitorial staff who found one of those rocks. They meet a little bit later. We find out he actually had a drug problem, and we don't know if he's alive or dead. But that was But anyway, let's talk about Alex. Alex is a nerd, and he has a lot on his chest because his potential girlfriend never fully turned into that because of what happened to her sister Amy, Nico. So he liked this girl named Nico, who's a part of the group, and Nico's sister Amy died. He knew some information about her death, never told Nico until much later when they all came back together. So their relationship still hasn't been the same because of that. But he's really smart, but he's also a know-it-all. He thinks he knows it all. He thinks his plans are soundproof, but most of the time they fail. The only ones that work is the ones where his friends really come and help him out. He is a relatively good leader, but he still has much to learn. Now we get to Chase. Chase is like that all-American, but he's actually smart. In the first episode, we're not too sure, but it's not that he's not smart. He's just very gullible. He's very gullible. He's very naive. He actually comes from an abusive household. His father is verbally abusive and also was very physically abusive when he was younger, and also to his mom. And so we get this weird dynamic of Chase is one of those guys where he's just kind of like let's just all be good. Let's just, work things out. Maybe we can trust this person. Maybe we can trust that person. He eventually learns that for some people, yes, but the world is full of people that don't deserve your trust or consideration, honestly. And then we go from that to, who Who else? Who else is part of the group? Carolina, her family is a part of this mega church, but this mega church that has this new age philosophy and ideology in religion, and she's the face of it. Really, her and her mom are the face of the church. She eventually finds out that their religion was BS. Maybe some practices are good, but the overall religion was BS because it was her father who's actually an alien. So she's half alien. She has the ability to glow. Gert, feminist, she actually bonds with a dinosaur that was created by her parents and whose room was connected to hers. So the dinosaur always heard Gert's voice, and so they kind of built this connection. Like I said, probably used some of Gert's DNA, just being honest, knowing them, in order to form her. As far as superpowers, Nico has a staff. Actually, it's her mom's staff. And at first, we were like, where did it come from? Her mom created the staff. And originally, the biometrics were attached to her mom. But as Nico used it, then Nico became the owner and the only one that the staff would listen to. But then the storyline gets a little muddied with the staff as well. But we'll talk about that maybe in season 3. For seasons 1 and 2, the main premises are their parents are evil. Their parents they find out through this weird ritual in the first episode that their parents are sacrificing teens. And there was actually 15 teens that were killed in order to bring back this alien, Jonah, who is Carolina's father. Yes, who's Carolina's father. And the reason why he needed sacrifices is because his life force was dwindling. It kept dwindling, and he was just like energy, essentially. He's an energy being, and all of his family are energy beings. They need, at least on Earth, a human host in order to stay tethered. And the human host can only withstand their powers and abilities for so long. And that's why he needed sacrifices. So that's why their organization, Pride, was actually helping to, and the church was helping, like all of them were in tangent, helping to sacrifice Runaways. And the show partially was called Runaways because of the runaways that were being killed. But in season 2, the kids actually run away from their parents because they realize their parents are evil. Within, the second half of season 1, we find out essentially the plot line of Jonah. And part of season 2, we find out that the hole that was being used, I mean, there was a school being built by Alex's parents. And shout out to Alex's mom. I know she is evil. And I know Tina, who is Nico's mom, is evil, but I love them. I love them. I love a strong woman, female character. Even if she's bad, I just love it. So that's why I don't stand them, but I really like them. Even though they're both wrong. Even though they have their own issues. Even though Tina's mom... Ooh, come on. Come on. There we go. Even though Tina's mom cares more about... What happened to the autofocus? Cares more about her staff and image and all of that than her kids. And we find out the staff, after you're using it for a while, it does mess with your mind. So there is that. But I really love the show. And I really love the progression. The great thing about these shows and what Marvel does right, it makes you like the characters and pay attention to the characters. And most of the time, they're just talking about the characters and their issues. Like Nico, she has severe anxiety issues. And in season 2, when she ran away with everyone else, she didn't have her anxiety medication. So she was just going through it. And even though her and Chase eventually got together, even though Chase was like sidelining her for the longest, she still needed her anxiety medication. So her relationship couldn't supersede her medical needs. And so then she left the group. And then in order to come back to the group, she kind of used Chase through way of his mom. And it was just interesting twists and turns how Carolina, when she went to that party in the first episode in season 1, she saw these 2 girls kissing. How she even found out about her abilities because she was wearing a bracelet that everyone in her church wears, but hers was to stop her powers from flourishing or being known. And the weird and how she develops a relationship with Nico. So a woman who it was like, who knew? Well, I saw it coming. I saw it coming quickly. And how Alex liked Nico and how Alex kept getting sidelined, and it wasn't just because of everything else. It was like, she may like you, but she doesn't really like you like that, Alex. Sorry, dude. In season 2, we do see he has a girlfriend. He even gets cornrows. And it was nice for a moment, but it didn't last because we knew it wouldn't. Darius, who's friends with his father, was eventually killed and framed. Actually, one of the girls who, the girl who was killed in the first episode, there became this big plot, like, because her body washed up on the shore. Her body washed up on the shore, and because Chase's father was trying to build the machine. He was trying to build a machine that's an energy transfer machine. So you put Jonah in one of the pods, or one of the boxes as they call it. You put the living person in the other one. It did not work. He was having issues with it, and it did not work. They kept sacrificing all those people because it would not work. That was the main issue. It would not work. And I think, if memory serves me right, she was still in the pod. And I think he killed her and threw her in the ocean. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what really happened. They never really delve into that because they had to figure out how they're going to cover this up. The good thing is, the parents are so rich, they own the police. They own the police, and if they say, so this is what happened, that's what's going to work. The problem is when outside entities see, oh, wait a minute now, what happened? And because the kids know that their parents were killing all these other kids and just doing all these evil things, the kids went rogue. They had multiple battles and multiple spats with their parents. When they realized that their parents were using this school site as actually a dig site, they learned about Jonah having a ship down there towards the end of season 2, and how they were actually going to free the spirits that were in there, but they couldn't do it, and their parents had a plan of just destroying the ship and anyone that was on it, and how that didn't really work out so well, because then they thought Nico tried to kill Jonah. She thought she killed him. She just killed his physical form. And we find out, which I knew already happened, Jonah's family survived. There was this, I guess, low-class servant, if you will, that was on the ship that moved up the ranks, and he fell in love with Carolina. And well, it was more so a spirit entity type of thing, so it didn't really have a physical form like that, and was trying to, towards the end of season 2, trying to court Carolina, and we later realized that at the end of season 2, Carolina's captured, Chase is captured, his mom is captured, because Jonah's family, they survived, and now there's one person missing, her brother. They don't know where he is. He could be one of the kids. So now it made me wonder, okay, which one of the kids are infected? Because Tina, as in Nico's mom, she's been infected. Frank, who is Chase's dad, he's been infected. And I forgot who the other two were. I think maybe Gert's mom was infected because she flipped. She poisoned the dinosaur, which was connected to Gert. She did all these crazy things. She drugged Chase. It was doing too much. Tina's mom was happy, which was weird. She was eating chocolate all the time, and just anything with sugar. I said, what? That's how I knew it wasn't them. Frank was sexually interested in his wife more than his work. It just did not make any sense. Leslie gets pregnant, and it's Jonah's baby, so now she's going to have another one, and now she finds out that the royal family, because Jonah is a part of a royal family, that he's going to come after his child. It's just too much. Carolina's kidnapped, as I said. Alex gets his parents thrown in jail, finally. Well, we don't really see how long they stay or what happens there, but it's just the fact that something like that even happened in the first place. is crazy, especially for them. That's insane. Um, because his mother's a lawyer. She was the one she was the one who got the APB put on the kids, so that in season 2 they actually became the Runaways, because the parents were trying to take down Jonah. Nico's dad went and slept with Chase's mom, and the, I guess Frank tried to kill his own son, and Janet, who is Chase's mom, had to shoot him. That's how he got put in the pods. They came up with the anti-gravity thing to go and take down the ship. Gert's parents created this serum that could kill Jonah and kill anything like him. It was just a lot. It was a lot. It's a great show. My goal wasn't to go and tell you everything about the show. My goal is for you to go and watch it. It's great because, like I said, even though you're dealing with and Molly, the stuff going on, like I said, we find out that Leslie actually killed her parents, and why that happened, because they were going to expose the fact that the ship, that there was something underneath the earth, and it was going to cause this world-ending earthquake, and Jonah was trying to hide it. It's such a good show. It ties in so many things. It does talk about the double standards with the men and women. It talks about different cultures, because Molly's a Latina, and she actually has, like in season 2, she has her quinceañera. It's just a lot. It is really good. It's really, really good. And the commercials don't do it justice. That's what I'll say. The commercials don't do this show justice. The commercials will have you thinking that this is just like a cheesy show, that this is generic, but it's not. It's really good. It brushes on a lot of social issues, because I think it's based in LA, so it does show like the homeless population, because remember, they're runaways, so for a time being they were out in the streets, and it's really good. So it's 2 seasons. I believe it's like 23 episodes in total for both seasons. Season 1 had 10 episodes, season 2 had 13, which is good, because normally shows don't get upped in episodes like that. So yeah, watch it. Give it a shot. If you can watch the first couple episodes, things roll after that, because you have to set up the plot line. It is always slightly ever changing. I think that's why I also like it so much, because they add in these extra layers that you're like, what? Like how Leslie's mom goes from being the head of the church to her, not Leslie. Yeah, Leslie goes from being the head of the church that her father spearheaded in the name of Jonah, gets taken over by her husband, and how her husband actually ends up accidentally killing someone, and how he's a failed actor, or retired actor, not by choice, and so he needs something, so he tries to take over the church, and how we meet her mom at the end of season 2, Leslie's mom at the end of season 2, and how the church isn't going anywhere, because now they see that Carolina is the light, and how the prophecy has come to pass. And it's just really, 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 really good. It's really good, because like I said, Marvel does a great job when it comes to character development and having you care about the characters. So like I said, it's called The Runaways. It's on Hulu. 23 episodes. It's 2 seasons, 23 episodes in total. Go watch. Go enjoy. Let me know what you think if you've already watched it. Let me know what you think if you didn't think about giving the show a chance at first. But like I said, the commercials don't do it justice. The commercials make it look like it's some cheesy, like, teen type of show, but it's not. It gets real, and it gets real fast.